present, and Ms. Lenora will be zooming in, and we will make sure that we hear her votes as we go through the night on anything. So at this time, Neil, would you do the pledge for us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Terry.
Let's pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, I want to lift up the people in Ukraine tonight, Lord. Ask that you would be with them. You know what's going on. I pray for safety for them, Lord. I pray that you'd watch over our meeting tonight and let us conduct this business your way, Lord. I love you. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll do that.
First by Terry,
Second.
second by Janelle. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Superintendent reports.
There's your regular financial reports, and then in our comparison report, if you'll notice, revenue is up, at $51,353, that's into equalization money that came in this month. But expenditures are up as well, unfortunately. There was more in subs this time, there's some legal fees. We have a water bill going on that's pretty substantial at the high school, and hopefully over spring break that'll be resolved. The water department is working with us, and they're gonna replace the meter over spring break. And we think the meter is the problem, so hopefully we will be getting reimbursed for some of that.
It's just, there's no stability to the meter. 1 month it'll be here, next month it'll be here, and you go up and look at it, it's not moving at all, like there's no water flowing through it. And talking to Sean at the water company, he feels like it's probably, something's gone wrong inside the meter. And they're gonna replace it on Wednesday, week from this Wednesday during spring break. No kids will be here. Put a new water meter in, and they'll send it into a testing lab. And if the testing lab finds what we think is they're gonna find, that we've been getting overbilled. And then they'll refund us.
He told me they would go back to like October. There's a trend of it just going up more and more and more to the tune of over $4,000 this month, so there's
Since
definitely
October?
a problem.
Since October.
And it had been pretty subtle until November, it was quite a bit, and in December it jumped a little more, and it's gotten substantial, so.
Yeah, we've had plumbers there, we've done everything that we can do, no water on top of the ground anywhere for any leaks. So that's our alternative right now, so.
Okay, good deal. Thank you, sir.
Any questions on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll do the enrollment report for you. If you look at your statistics, we're up 5 students from last month, and once again, this is as of 8:30 this morning, so that could have changed even in that time frame. But we are, like I said, up 5 from last month. The biggest gain, again, at least statistically, was at Watson Primary. Even gained 2 new kindergarten students from what I saw from last month, so.
And a new one coming tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. We are up 31 from the same board meeting last year. So the March board meeting of last year, and we are up 29 from the end of the school year last year. So statistically, that's a pretty significant jump in students.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, sir.
Well, typically, I would be doing a COVID update right now, but thankfully, there are no positive cases, no quarantines. The last student that had been out with a positive case was actually eligible to be back today, so I'm happy to say I don't need to report on that this month.
It's been a long time, for sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, any questions on that? Next is administrative reports.
Nobody's raising their hand. Mr. Kane, you wanna start?
Well, just get ready for spring break, and I also want to say, I want to acknowledge the teachers at Huntsville Intermediate School for all the hard work they've done this year. We've gone through lots of struggles and battles, and come to work every day with a smile on the face and teach our little kids, our loved ones.
At the middle school, we just finished up our third round of interim testing, working on getting those makeups done and wrapping all of that up. We're still working on curriculum, trying to finalize some things for our math and science and social studies departments. Hopefully, we're gonna have some meetings on April 1st and hopefully get a little closer to finalizing those. We've got samples of several different curriculums, and we've been kind of working through some of those and seeing what we like and what we don't like. So hopefully we'll have something on that pretty soon. Just like Mike said, our teachers are working hard. We got our school report cards in, and we felt pretty good about where we're at, and compared to some of the districts around us, or some of the schools our size, we're right in there. And Gravit's one that we always kind of chase, and we're closing the gap on them. So pretty proud of that.
Okay, this just in, our HHS choir received straight 1 superior ratings across the board, and they're going to go compete in state competition in April. So that's for the entire choir. A couple years ago, last year, I think, we had a couple of all-state singers, so I didn't know you could all-state in choir, but you can, so that's really great. Also, the band received an excellence award in the regional concert assessment, so that award's in the mail, but it's coming to us. I want to brag on the Huntsville football team. You'll see it come out in the paper, but the football players are always considered some kind of rough and tumble, just men, and we've got a lot of academic all-stars in the football team, so that'll be out in the paper. Coach got on shirts that say academic all-stars for the football team. That's a big deal, and some of these kids were borderline not being able to play. So for them to have a 3.0 or higher on some of it's really good stuff. So I was excited about that. I also want to say, and you'll see this later on in the items, but we've got 10 retiring teachers at Huntsville High School. And we did the combined experience years, because I believe it was Dr. Yancey had mentioned how many years, or maybe Lenora or Ms. Riedel had mentioned it. But there's 309 combined years of service with those educators.
Those 10.
And most of it comes out of the science department with 101 years of experience. I do want to give a shout out to Vicki Dotson, who has taught teenagers for 44 years. So, and she still looks beautiful, and she's nice and kind. A couple of those were at Gentry, but we've had her the rest of the time. Connie Tinberg has taught 38 years teenagers and middle schoolers, and 35 of those, she did a few at Kingston, but 35 of those have either been 6 has been at the high school, and the rest have been at the middle school. So that's amazing, and both of those ladies look beautiful, and they're not grouchy and mean. So I hate to see all of them go, but I wanted to give a shout out to them, because those are, I think Coach Berry and Coach Stacker are the only 2 that have taught that. So as far as Ms. Dotson, so she's pretty awesome, and I'm sure if you went to Huntsville High School, she taught you. So
She's
pretty awesome. So kind of teared up when I got that one, because she's a great lady. Not that the others aren't, but Vicki's quite special to me. So that's all I've got.
And probably between the 3 of them, they probably had 3 kids and 2 years of discipline total. And they brought the kid to my office with them. They sat down with them, and I just watched them discipline the kid and took care of it. So it was a nice learning experience for me too to watch a little bit.
If they write up somebody, it's true.
Yeah, they mean it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's the season to be testing, like Matt was talking about. We're finishing up MAP testing this week. We're doing spring MAP testing all this week in our classes. ACT work keys is wrapping up this week as well. Miss Chapel's Santa Chapel's taking care of that this week. And then we are gearing up for CAP conferences when we come back. We've got kids this weekend SOARs doing credit checks. They're looking at career pathways, our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. They're updating 4-year plans, and then they're making a course wish list so that they're ready when we come back from spring break to have our CAP conferences with their SOAR teachers. They should be setting those up with parents so that they'll be ready to go when we come back from spring break. I think she took all the good stuff, all the fun stuff, the good things. Quiz Bowl also got 4th at regionals. You'll probably be seeing that. Kelly Mythaler got all region as well, so we're really proud of her too. They did a great job up at Gravette over the weekend. And I think that's all I've got, so take it away.
Good evening. We just finished at the high school, our senior ACT work keys, and pretty pleased with the results of our seniors. Had several certificates printed out for those young men and ladies today. Kind of like Matt said, we got our scores back. Pretty pleased with our scores as compared to the state average. We're right there where we need to be, and of course, we can always improve, but we were pretty pleased with where we're at. Spring break coming up, and then of course, when we get back from spring break, we got parent-teacher conferences, so we're lining up for that. Of course, today was the start of the 4th 9 week, so we're in our last 9-week period. But, everything's running good, and teachers are working hard, and it's a struggle at this time of year. Everybody's tired, but morale is up, and the kids are there, and so we're just happy to be there.
Thank you, Bruce.
Most of mine will be in part 5, if y'all want.
That's all right, Harry, we'll just wait on it.
We'll get there. All right.
Yeah, we'll just wait on you.
No problem, go ahead.
The maintenance end of it, everything's running pretty smoothly. Like I said, we got several projects that we've got to do next week when kids are not here. We did receive the last shipment of appliances in Saturday morning for the activity center. All that is ready and in-house, so when they need it, all we gotta do is cart it over to them. Besides that, everything, knock on wood, is going really well.
Good deal. Thanks, Steve. Mr. Bates?
Everything's going pretty smooth in technology. We're getting ready for our projects next week for over spring break while everyone's gone, trying to take advantage of that. Some exciting news is this past month we did get approved for emergency connectivity funding through USAC. It was through one of I think the last stimulus package. They approved like $7.1 billion through the FCC and USAC to apply for emergency connectivity funding, which can be used for buying devices and stuff for that. So right now we have a survey going out to all of our staff and students that we want every single staff member and student to fill out. And depending on, if they have a personal device at home that they could use in the need for a mass dismissal like we've had before, each one of those needs will qualify for us, so we can buy a Chromebook for each one of those. So potentially we could buy, with that $485,000, I think we could potentially buy 1,600 Chromebooks with that. So we'll just see what those results come back at. So, but in either case, we'll still be able to buy, a couple hundred at least, depending on how many qualify, so.
Very important they fill it out.
Yes, yeah, so I'm working with the principals and they've been great to help get every staff member and student to fill that out, and so that we can see and use that to hopefully replace and upgrade some of these Chromebooks that we still need to replace. And we hopefully are gonna be able to use some ESSER funding to replace that also, but this would be separate funding that would allow us to use the ESSER funding somewhere else and stretch that a little bit further. So that's really all we have going on. I did want to give a special shout out in the retirement section tonight. You'll see one of our techs, Derek Hughes, is retiring. He's been with us for the last 5+ years, and so excited for him. He's gonna hopefully be able to work with us on a part-time basis as needed, but yeah, I just want to give a shout out to him and thank him for his time with us.
Billy, I got a question. How's everything in the transition going at the new activity center?
Good. Yeah, we're moving along. I can't speak enough for Dakota and C.R. Crawford. They've been really great.
Agreed.
Dakota and I, he's not unfamiliar to getting my calls or texts anymore, but they've been great to work with, and it's going really well. We started the cabling process and all that. Hopefully in the next week or two, we're gonna start running the cabling for the sound system. And then while we're doing that, we're also gonna be running some of the cabling for the lighting system. So, and then the video board, all that's been ordered, and so here in the next, probably towards the end of April, we're really gonna see a lot of those components go in there, so that's exciting.
Well, I just wanted to give a special thanks to you because I know that y'all have been working hard on that, and it's really, if you haven't had the opportunity to do a drive-by or something, it's really changed quick. And there's a lot of progress been made by this, so we're getting close to seeing a huge project that we've all been working on and finished out pretty quick.
Yeah, I tried to go out there and get some pictures and put that out on our social media, and I'll try to do that again this week. One thing that I'm excited about is I put in some cameras that's gonna let us do some time-lapse videos on that.
Cool.
So that'll be really neat to see the inside of that come and watch it progress over the course of a few months. That'll be really neat, hopefully, in the end, if it works, so.
Thank you, Bailey.
Thank you.
The Civil Rights Data Collection Report was submitted on March 4th, so hallelujah.
I have to say, Jonathan did that so quickly and efficiently.
Yes, sir, thank you.
That's a big deal, and he.
We'll see how accurate.
We kind of put you on the spot.
But I mean, it was submitted and accepted. The Master Facilities Partnership funding application was submitted on February 28th. Have not heard back from them. Don't know of a timeline to expect to hear back from them, but I will keep bothering them as to the status of what they received. I've been going around to career fairs. I've been up to 4 of them over the last month, and these are all at, this is at Arkansas Tech, at Harding, at UAPB, and then the last one was at Fort Smith, UA Fort Smith. I get they're young now to me as well, so they're all like 23, 22, fresh out of college, or going to graduate in May. They just keep getting looking younger every day, every second that I see them. But I get them to sign in and give us contact information. We've made about 70 points of contacts through that. Most of them were graduating this year. A few of them, especially at UAPB, were graduating in the upcoming years. But I think it's been worthwhile and good, especially to get our face and name out there in different areas. So the only true question that I have to answer typically is, we're Huntsville, Arkansas, not Alabama or Texas, especially when you go outside of the Northwest Arkansas region. So, but I think it's been good for us.
I think you're right. Do you get a pretty good feel for some of those potentials to?
I do, and I think that we've had. I always tell them to apply, that we have a general application even if they don't see our something specific to what an opening that they're looking for. And I think we're getting some of those. I haven't really checked to I can't give you specific numbers on that, but some of them I know are doing it before they leave the building. So I've been pretty pleased with that.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, I just bouncing off of him, I know I hired 3 that came from the job fair in previous years. And I just kind of offhandedly was talking about hires from last year. I didn't hire a bad one, so we get some really great candidates, so it's kind of all spent. I have been working with Ms. Kimball and the secondary principals and Mr. Kane as well about our ALE program is up for review this year, so trying to get that finalized before we submit that at the end of the month. Our teachers are looking forward to spring break, but I think they're more not the burnout part, but ready for some weather that's stable and keeps kids in school for a while. I see those teachers over there going, yes. So we're hoping that we've kind of passed all of that and we can finish out these 4th 9 weeks there and strong. We've had the literacy specialists coming over from the co-op and supporting our instruction, going into classrooms and seeing what's going on, giving us some feedback.
I have to brag on, she took a video, had our IF take a video of this teacher. I want to share this with another school. So we've got some great things. It was very validating, obviously always places that we can grow in, but we've just been very proud of our teachers and the great work that they're doing as well.
Good deal, thank you. Anya?
I've been thinking hard, I don't have anything new, and so no news is good news sometimes.
I agree with that.
Carrying on.
Pretty much the same here, still working on budgets and special education testing, so same old, same old.
I'm sure she would like to put a sign on her door that says, "No water, you cannot use ESSER funds."
Well, I told Bailey last week, I said, every time you sit in that chair, Bailey, it costs me money. What do you, he said, well, I'll just sit in the other chair, but it still costs me money, so.
Mary, you have anything?
Old Farm Road is really quiet. Thank you all very much. I would like to say that, we're missing Tom Keller tonight, and definitely keep Tom in your thoughts, prayers, because he's been going through some health issues, and we definitely want the very best for Tom. He's a great guy. So, next new business?
Harry is back there just
Right.
dying to
Yeah,
talk
I
to
can
y'all.
tell already.
There's a handout in your binder, purchase of new used buses from Rogers School District.
We're saving so much in diesel right now, teachers
Yes.
suggested with bicycle buses.
Perry, how many kids can you get to you guys? Not enough.
I was gonna ask you about fuel, but
Yeah, we're paying about double what we did last year at this time. It's not quite, but we're there.
water and diesel are expensive things right now.
But, these two, they're a little older, they're 06s, but they've got the DT 466, which is a great engine. It predates all this regen and DEF. These engines will outlast the bodies over here big time. We'll probably have to end up retiring them too, before the body's wearing out. One of them is a smaller bus, it's one that anybody can drive, doesn't have to have CDL with it. It's just a little better shape than a couple of ones we've got right now. We could probably retire one of those this summer, let this one replace it.
How many miles do we normally get out of a regular bus?
We'll get over 200,000. Their body, like I say, we'll retire them due to a body more than the engine. They're just frame, body, yeah, they'll just start to fall apart on it.
Harry, share with them how many miles a day we drive.
Over 2,000. It's kind of like we drive to Orlando and back every day.
Every day.
And that's,
Not per
that's
bus.
the same call. No, all our buses
All
combined.
of them, 38 bus routes.
38 buses.
That's great.
Wow.
2,000 miles.
75% dirt road.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
A lot of dirt.
And let me ask you this, why don't we do this more often? Well,
Rogers is the only one that really does a lot of this. They do it about once a year. We try to jump on it, and I think we have the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, we bought.
Every opportunity.
Every opportunity we get, we.
Little Rock, nobody like that?
I don't hear about the big one like that. Bentonville, I heard one time, but I've never really heard from like Fayetteville, Springdale. Rogers is our main go-to for getting used buses.
Because those wouldn't be on dirt roads a lot.
No, they wouldn't. Like these probably haven't seen dirt. They will. They're about.
They're about to.
Have a rough awakening.
Okay,
Danny, I make a motion, we buy these buses.
yes, sir. I gotta have a motion by Terry,
I'll second it.
second by Janelle. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Lenore.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you. Because I know that you put a lot of effort into trying to get it done. I do. All right, next up,
I need my regular monthly approval to move millage money to operating where we can,
Make a motion to
pay our
move the money.
next bill.
I have a first by Terry, second by Lenora. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Okay, next, and this is gonna take me a lot of talking to get through this, so get ready, but I'm excited about this. I had the opportunity to work with some other superintendents in APSRC, which is our Arkansas Public School Resource Center, on a grant with the Walton Foundation. to fund a career coach for our districts. In the beginning, the first conversations was, sharing a career coach among different districts. But as this process grew, it got even better. And this MOU would be for our own career coach. And we do have money involved if we agree to this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I wanna first talk about all the things that this would do. I'm gonna do quite a bit of reading, but I wanna explain it all in great detail. The program, this grant's called HIRED, and HIRED stands for Helping Individuals Reach Employment Dreams. It's a partnership between Arkansas Public Resource Center, several small Northwest Arkansas school districts. So it's basically the districts in our region minus the big four. Business and industry leaders and post-secondary educators to provide opportunities for both high school students and employers. The goal of the program is to impact the lives of students by giving them access to high-quality career guidance and the education or skill development necessary to obtain the career of their dreams. The goal of the program for employers is to have the opportunity to develop and recruit a highly skilled workforce in Northwest Arkansas. At HIRED, we believe that when accurate information about careers and that are available in Northwest Arkansas is combined with a realistic pathway for students to acquire the skills necessary to obtain those careers, that both students and employers will benefit. So the components of this: education, skill development, and career guidance. This program would support our CTE teachers through professional development, helping schedule high-quality guest speakers, and strengthen the alignment of the educational programs to industry workforce. For students, it would mean high-quality career coaching, experiential learning, internships, pre-internships, career planning through a technical school, and the next bullet I think is really important. For those students already working through a technical school program, pre-apprenticeship program, or who have obtained business and industry certifications or specific skill sets through their CTE coursework, which we're very proud of here in this district, HIRED will help them with job placement. It will also help with college planning. And then on the business and industry partnership, the HIRED program coordinator, Jerry Price, and I have met Ms. Price. I've actually met her in years past. She was a principal at Salem School District. But she has been hired by APSRC to be the program coordinator of this overall. Jerry will act as a liaison between the businesses and the career coaches, CTE teachers, and school leaders to strengthen connections between schools and businesses. HIRED will foster partnerships with business and industry leaders, specifically in the area of talent development and acquisition to help place students. And then they will, again, connect the business industry leaders with the school districts. So if you go on over to the last page, it talks about the financials of this. This grant is for 2 years through Walton Foundation. Now, APSRC is the ones who have worked to write it, and we will work with on the financial part, but it's the Walton Foundation funding their part. So it's a 2-year plan. The first year, our district would pay half of that person's salary. The second year, we would pay 75%. We can use ESSER funds to cover that, and then after that, I've spoken with Natasha, we could use SF funds. So it can be paid with federal dollars. At the end of the 2 years, if we don't want to continue it, if the grant is not continued, we're not under obligation to keep that person. And their contract would be written so that they would know that this was a 2-year job. The way the money would work is APSRC would bill our district biannually for our part of the money, and then they would pay this person. If you go back to the front page, the MOU itself, I wanna read that first paragraph where it says the purpose and parties out loud for us to, I wanna make sure that you understand this part. The purpose of the memorandum of understanding or MOU or agreement is set forth the nature and extent of the relationship between the Huntsville School District and the Arkansas Public Resource Center concerning the implementation of a partnership agreement designed to support the implementation of helping individuals reach employment dreams, also known as HIRED grant, from the APSRC and the Walton Family Foundation. The grant will build and support the district using 4 main focus areas. 1, growing personalized career pathways for students. 2, developing a professional learning community with local businesses and industry partners. 3, strengthening careers, strengthening technical learning leaders and enrichment CTE curriculum through externships with business and industry partners. And 4, establishing an online career learning network designed to encourage collaboration among students, educators, and business leaders. So if you look down to B though, the district, it has the district's responsibilities also, which I've pretty well already gone over all of those. We would have say in the hire of this person. We would get to, either myself or I could elect someone to be on that panel to hire this person, but this career coach would work for this district. So, I think it's a great thing. I was excited to be a part of the process. And if you're willing, I would like a motion to enter this grant agreement.
Tina, there's still plenty of money, right?
This is
Well, it
federal.
wouldn't come out of operating money, so yes, with those ESSER dollars for sure.
I do have one quick question.
Yes.
Would it go off like the salary schedule, what our salary schedule is, or do they have it set forth like by the state?
No, and that's a great question, Laura. I'm glad you asked that. I should have mentioned that. They have a projected salary of $55,000. And then they've also included fringe benefits on top of that.
Where do you find this person?
They will, APSRC will advertise it, and we will also advertise it through our district.
Is this a certified?
That, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. And they will put together the job description, but it doesn't have to be a certified person in that area. It could be someone from industry.
They're gonna work with the Huntsville and St. Paul campus and the CTE program, correct?
So, and it's not just our CTE programs and our new CTE centers, it's also your other CTE programs at the high school level.
Do you think there's a possibility, does anybody know if there's a possibility or anything that the grant could continue after the 2 years?
There is a chance. We would know, APSRC, I think, if we can show it among all our districts success, I think they would certainly try. I do. What I think is I think the best part is that we will have our own person for St. Paul and Huntsville, but this Jerry Price that will work with all the districts, all of your career coaches will also work together. So she's like the hub among all industry linked to our career coaches, and then they also have people to work with as well.
So the first 2 years were 27,000 is our part.
The first
For the first year, and then the
First year.
second year, 75%.
Second year, 75%, sorry.
Yeah.
I like that we're not obligated to pass 2 years, just in case, I don't foresee that it won't be beneficial at all. But I like that we're not liable, right after 2 years, so I do like that aspect.
Mm-hmm. And again, the first 2 years, we would use ESSER money, for our part, and then at that point, we will no longer have ESSER money, but our regular federal funding would cover this as well, and we would just have to budget for it if we did plan to continue that role. And this person, when they're hired, will know that situation, that it might not go past 2 years.
Sure, provide resources, equipment expenses, travel expenses, office space, phone, supplies.
And I ask about the travel expenses because, if they have to go to a lot of meetings or if they're gonna have weekly meetings somewhere in Springdale and they have to travel, what Ms. Price told us that they would do as much of that virtually as possible as far as meeting with their group, but it would fall under our regular district policies about employee travel. And on the supplies and equipment, that's a computer, just like our other employees.
We have plenty of office space for them.
there's space at the Huntsville CTE building and the St. Paul. They would have a place both places.
So it's calculated at $55,000 salary. And then it's got here, it's got $16,500 with benefits at 30%.
And typically, they have figured this with plenty of cushion. We figure our certified fringe at 25% typically. So they've budgeted plenty in there.
But we don't really have any control of that on the fringe. Correct.
But it'll just be what it is, so it's, and Mary can do a lot better job explaining this than I do, but you know, their retirement and all that, it would be different for each person.
Yeah, so it's just an estimate, that 30% that's on the high end.
Yeah, by doing 30%, they've done that on the high end.
Well, Nora, did you have any more questions?
No, I think it's a great idea, and especially if we have the funding that needs to be used, it's a great way to use it.
Well, I think this will provide some good opportunities for our kids, so I move that we approve this grant.
I have a motion to approve by Janelle,
Second.
second by Lenora. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Thank you, and I hope I did an okay job explaining that. There was a lot of details to put into
No, I think you
one
did.
conversation.
Next item, transfer request.
Yes, we do have two transfer requests, students that have, let me get to the right tab, they have not been in this district.
So moved.
We got a first by Janelle,
Second.
second by Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next up, I need a motion to accept the personnel resignations, hires, transfers, and renewals.
I'll make a motion.
First by Terry,
Second.
second by Janelle. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Okay, resignations, certified, Luella Wood, Huntsville High School ESOL, retirement, effective June 30th. Vicki Dodson, Huntsville High School biology teacher, June 30th, retirement. Jennifer Dodson, Huntsville High School sped teacher, June 30th, retirement. Cindy Kane, district vibrant teacher, June 30th, retirement. Casey Castile, Huntsville Middle School teacher and cheer coach, June 30th, classified. Katie Levacy, Watson Primary School sped paraprofessional, June 30th. Peggy Terrell, Huntsville High School virtual distance learning paraprofessional, retirement, June 30th. Derek Hughes, technology department, June 30th, retirement. Certified, it's that month where all certified staff are rehired, and there's a list in your tab. Also, Sarah Franklin, Huntsville High School science teacher, effective July 1st, 2022. Savannah Lyden, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Got it.
Huntsville High School agri teacher, July 1st. Megan LaPlante, Huntsville High School science teacher, July 1st. Tammy Brown, Huntsville High School math teacher, July 1st. Zachary Twerves, classroom teacher / computer science teacher, July 1st. Maria Goodman, Huntsville High School math teacher, July 1st. Bailey Money, am I pronouncing it? Huntsville Intermediate School teacher, July 1st. Classified, Courtney Haddock, Huntsville Intermediate School food service worker, effective March 15th. And Teresa Farrell, bus driver, effective February 15th. Transfers, certified. Tammy Stevenson, St. Paul Pre-K to St. Paul 3rd grade, effective July 1st. Kendra Glenn, St. Paul 3rd grade teacher to St. Paul instructional facilitator, effective July 1st. Kimberly Shaw, 5th grade teacher at Huntsville Intermediate School to 5th grade teacher at St. Paul, effective July 1st. Stacy Holt, Huntsville High School classroom teacher / dyslexia interventionist to Huntsville High School English teacher, effective July 1st. Josh King, Huntsville High School English teacher to Huntsville High School history and social studies teacher, July 1st. Marty Carroll, Huntsville High School math teacher to Huntsville High School East facilitator, July 1st. Matthew Ferguson, Huntsville Middle School principal to assistant superintendent, July 1st. Classified, Angie Johnson, Watson Primary School food service cook to Watson Primary School food service manager, effective March 15th.
Mercy. Okay. Thank you. Is there any other, board comments or questions, or discussion items? Terry? Anyone?
No, I wanna say how much I appreciate all these, the time and to their careers that these retirees have put in. It's pretty impressive, 302
I
hours.
agree.
309.
Sorry, 309.
7 years.
That's an hours and it's years.
And that's just the 10 that is leaving high school,
Yes, yeah.
not to mention
We appreciate
All the
this
rest.
change.
And for the record, I didn't run them off. They were planning to retire in several years.
well, we definitely absolutely appreciate all of those people so much and it's a loss for sure to lose all those teachers that has all that experience and years of wisdom. And so we definitely appreciate those people for sure and wish them the very best in their retirements. And we just thank all of you for everything that you do every day. Anybody else have anything? Lenora, did you have anything?
No, I just wanted to say thank you again to all the teachers that are retiring. I have many of them in school myself and I'm very, very thankful for everything they've done for our district.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank, we got some candidates that's running for school board in the back. We appreciate you guys coming out and being here with us tonight, so thank you guys. Best of luck to you all. And I guess if there's nothing else.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second.
Got a meeting, motion adjourned by Terry, second by Janelle. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, meeting adjourned. Thank you, Lenora.